Australian of the Year joins me now from Canberra. Good morning, Grace, and congratulations.
Good morning, Lisa. Thank you very much.
How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling. I'm feeling incredibly honoured and humbled. But I think more so than anything, I'm feeling empowered and ready to keep going and using this platform to create change.
Yeah, could you feel it in the room last night when you were delivering those words?
I could feel it. I could feel it, and the feeling was reconnection. The feeling was hope. It was in the room. It was palpable. Change is happening, and it's happening right now.
There's still a lot of change that needs to happen, though, isn't there?
There is. There's a lot of change that needs to happen. There's still a lot of gaps in our collective understanding on this issue of sexual abuse, of sexual assault, and you know, there are still so many structures in place, whether that's legislation or institutional policies. There's a lot of structures in place that still enable predators and don't protect victims, and we need to look at how we can reform and review those.
How are you going to do that in 2021? What's your plan, especially now that you have this honour and so much more power, I guess, that comes with your words?
It all starts with conversation, continuing that conversation, creating a safe space for not only individuals who have gone through the trauma of abuse, but creating a safe space for community members, bystanders, to talk and open up about this issue, and through doing so, educate each other so that we can prevent this issue from happening. So that's my real focus, is continuing the conversation and educating as a primary means of prevention.
Grace, one of the powerful moments I found in your speech, there were so many of them, but when you said you went from barely being able to walk to winning a marathon, you have come through such an incredible personal journey. What do you have personally in store for yourself? What would you like to achieve in 2021?
I would just like to continue on this journey. Just to be a part of change is what drives me, and to help and uplift others. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm always moving in a positive direction. I don't, you know, whether that's continuing to run, but I think more so than anything is, just working towards educating and reforming legislation and continuing the conversation. That is what I'm here to do.
And of course, every year we do have the debate about Australia Day. I know that you've suggested that changing the date wouldn't hurt anyone. Why not do it? Doesn't cost anything, I think, with the words you used. Why do you feel that way?
Well, look, I'm here I'm here being honoured as a survivor of child sexual abuse with this accolade, which is an important symbol. You know, symbols are really important things in our society, and like I said, I stand by the idea that this doesn't cost anything for us as a nation to change this date, and it would mean a great deal to our First Nations people, but also. This is not my issue to talk about. I think when we have a voice and a platform, it's important to recognise when it's our time to use that, and when it's the time to pass the microphone to the people that need to be heard. And on this issue, it's our First Nations people, and I would say that we need to look to those people for this debate.
And Grace, a final thought this morning you'd like people to take away from the honour last night and the speech you gave?
We're all in this together. Keep listening, keep loving, and keep learning and sharing together.
Grace Tame, thank you very much for joining us this morning. And again, congratulations from all of us here at News Breakfast.
Thank you so much.
And if this story has raised any issues for you, you can get help by calling the National Sexual Assault, Domestic and Family Violence Counselling Service on 1800-RESPECT, which is 1800-737-732. As Grace said, you are not alone. We are in this together.
And I'm very pleased to say Dr. Ungunmerr-Baumann joins us now from Canberra. A very good morning to you, and congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much.
What does this honour, Miriam-Rose, mean for you?
It's exciting that what I've been doing in and that it's been acknowledged. And yeah, I was over the moon after when last night when my name came up and said, when my name came up in saying that I was the winner of that category.
It's just amazing, an amazing achievement for you. And listen, a great speech, we played a bit of it then. You talked about the importance, Miriam-Rose, of all Australians walking in two worlds, and you've made the argument it's been a bit too one-way for so many years for Indigenous Australians. What would you like other Australians to do to promote reconciliation?
Invite them to come and sit with us on country and get to know us better and what it's like to live in communities such as Nauru, where I come from, on the banks of the Daly River, and meet us.
Tell us about your career as an educator. You were the first fully qualified Indigenous teacher in the Northern Territory in 1975. You've done some amazing work in schools and Indigenous communities on the education front. How important is education for confronting the disadvantage still sadly faced by so many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians?
I thought it'd be better if the local people in my community were trained up to help to teach our kids and not just have, there's nothing wrong in having teachers come and live and work amongst us in our community, leaving their comfort zones to do that. They bring their expertise to us, and we share. We support them too in their journey as teachers in our communities, and the community and teachers that are working in places such as Nauru. We all benefit from just exchanging our expertise with each other, and the children also have the benefit of having local people from within their community trained as teachers to teach them.
Miriam-Rose, you're 73 years old. You've just been made the Senior Australian of the Year after decades trying to improve the lot of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. How close are we, do you believe, to true reconciliation in Australia?
Well, since I was growing up, it was always that, in my understanding, that it was just one-way traffic, that we had to learn your way. And after when I got older and started to realise, this is not good, because, we've gone and done that hard yards in learning how to speak fluently your language and understand how you live and function in your towns and cities. I reckon it's about time you come and do the same with us.
That's pretty great advice.
And, I do.
Yeah, go on.
I say that in a welcoming way.
Oh, no, absolutely received in a welcoming way. Miriam-Rose, before we let you go, it is Australia Day, and as is the case every year, there are calls for the date of this day to change. Do you have a view on that?
Yep. No, not at this stage, because it doesn't affect me as much, because you don't get to hear some of the things that go on in the cities. You're in a remote place, and sure, you get the papers and that, the newspapers and stuff, and you read that, and every now and then you might watch the news, but because we live in the bush, it's harder to follow what is happening in cities, and that's probably where majority of that issue comes out. Then, comes out. And for you to ask me that question as an individual, I reckon that there should be things put out there for everybody to have a say in what it is, not just Aboriginal people, non-Indigenous people as well, Westerners in putting their suggestions forward or a disagreement. Yeah, and it's for everyone to come up with some kind of decision.
Miriam-Rose, ungunmerr-baumann, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations for your honour again. And hey, I hope a lot of non-Indigenous Australians take up your invitations to come on country and get a greater understanding of the life of Indigenous Australians. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Isobel, good morning, and a huge congratulations to you.
Morning, thank you so much.
What did it feel like, firstly, being up there on the stage with the Prime Minister and also some other extraordinary Australians being honoured?
Such an amazing honour, so humbling. I was just so excited for how we can use this incredible platform to spread Taboo's message. I felt like I had the Taboo team up there with me. It was very exciting.
Let's talk about Taboo. It's a social enterprise you, along with a schoolmate, set up when you were at school, aimed at giving women much easier access to hygiene products. What drove the setting up of Taboo?
Yeah, so Eloise Hall and I, my bestie from high school, we wanted to start a social enterprise, and we wanted to sell our own brand of pads and tampons to the Australian market and use our profits to fund projects that address a lot of the barriers to education that women face in Sierra Leone and Uganda through our charity partner with One Girl, the organisation. So we came to that idea through being inspired by the work of Thank You Water. So they introduced us to that incredible social enterprise model, and we thought this has got to be the future of business. It's an amazing way for us to transfer money that's already been spent in the marketplace to worthy projects. And so we became quite passionate about it. And as soon as we learned more about how periods affect women around the world, we were given the energy and the passion to really start and take a gap year to get it going. And
when you speak about period poverty, explain what that means for people who may not have heard that term before.
Yeah, and it's quite a new phrase. It encapsulates the disadvantage that people who menstruate experience in different ways, in different contexts and countries and communities around the world. In places like Sierra Leone and Uganda, periods stop a girl from having an education. So as soon as they start bleeding, if they don't have access to pads or tampons, they might have to drop out of school purely because they can't be at school and continuously bleeding without the protection they need. In places like Australia, certainly that level of period poverty does exist, whereby students don't have access to product, but it can also just look like having to miss a day off work because of your period and not having the support structures surrounding that, or the stigma and shame felt because you've got a stain on your undies that you weren't actually, that you couldn't do anything about, things like that. So it encapsulates a lot, but it's in general the disadvantage that someone faces from bleeding.
Now, what does it mean to you, Isobel, and everybody else involved in Taboo to hear firsthand stories of how, by doing this, you've improved the lives of women, both here in Australia and, importantly, in countries overseas?
Yeah, I think the word that comes to mind is energising. Obviously, starting a business isn't always super exciting and easy. So when you do hear of the impact and the fact that your story and your work is making a difference, it can propel you along. And our team is, we have a team of amazing volunteers in Adelaide and also a couple in Victoria, and we're all volunteers, and that positive feedback is incredible, and that's why we're doing what we do. So yeah, very energising.
You're studying medicine at the University of Adelaide. What are your hopes for the future? What do you plan to do, along with, of course, continuing to be involved quite heavily in Taboo and everything it does?
Well, it seems as time passes, I've got quite an interest in women's health, so I can see myself going down that path, but it's difficult to tell when things like this happen and suddenly you have amazing opportunities or life just takes you in crazy directions. So yeah, pretty open, but I love women's health.
It is an amazing opportunity, and you, along with the 3 other equally extraordinary women awarded last night, will have a huge platform over the next 12 months. You may have seen or read the news this morning that Grace Tame, the Australian of the Year, reckons we should change the date of Australia Day, acknowledging, in her view, it is so hurtful to so many First Nations people. Have you got a view on this?
Yeah, my personal view is that the date should be changed. I also believe that there are so many voices that need to be heard in this space. It's a massive conversation. I mean, I don't think my voice deserves more airtime than a lot of other people who really are invested in this topic and have a lot more to say. But yeah, my personal opinion is that it should be.
Isobel Marshall, thank you so much for joining us, and again, a massive congratulations from all of us here at News Breakfast.
Thank you so much.
And Rosemary Kariuki joins me now from Canberra. Good morning, Rosemary. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning.
There was a lot of love in the room for you last night.
Yes, it was.
How do you feel this morning thinking about the honour that's now been bestowed on you?
I'm still digesting about the whole thing. It's really nice and humbling, and I'm carrying the flag for that migrant woman.
Yeah, just remind people about how you've ended up doing what you're doing. It came from your own very personal situation arriving in Australia, didn't it?
Yes, it did. When I came, I was very lonely. I was alone, and people didn't speak to me. But when I see people and the women, especially because I chose to work with the women, because when you give information to a woman, the woman will give everybody who has got ears to listen. So that's why I chose to be working with the women and sharing with them what I have.
Yeah, you went on the front foot yourself for your own happiness, didn't you, with the Christmas cards? Just tell people what happened.
Sorry?
With the Christmas cards that you gave your own neighbours, you went on the front foot. Remind people what you did.
Yes, what happened, because I was living, that was in Randwick, and I was living in this 15 apartments. No one was speaking to me. Even nobody used to look at me. And I thought, what can I do? And then on December 24th, I wrote every house, I say, door number 1, Merry Christmas, my name is Rosemary, and this is my number. And before midnight, I went and put in all under the doors. And from the following morning, wherever I meet, everybody stopped to talk to me, and they came and knocked the door to say hi to me. They even invited me for meals. They even walked with me to the shops. So don't just sit there. Reach out. Don't just sit and don't act like the victim. If people are not doing things for you, go and get it.
What would you like Australians to be thinking about and doing today? I know you put a call out in your speech last night, but just tell them what you'd like to see.
Today is Australian Day. I would like every Australian to reach out. It doesn't matter which color, we are all the same. Knock at your neighbor's door. Tell them, come and have coffee. Walk to the supermarket. Share that respect. The spirit of Australians is huge and happiness. Can you imagine if we mix all that cultures we have? An Indian brings their curry, a Chinese brings their dumplings, and we sit down round, even on the grass at a picnic, and we share that. And when we are sharing our cultures, our dresses, even our languages. And that brings everybody together, and especially me working from the police, it's even the Ministry finishes the safety is more because you look after each other.
And I think based on your performance last night, you'd probably bring the dance moves, Rosemary.
Yes, yes.
I thought you were going to break into some dance last night. It was wonderful seeing your speech. It truly was. And people have responded so well to it this morning. Congratulations. I do hope 2021 treats you well. And thank you for all the work that you do.
Thank you very, very much. Let us all dance because it puts that smile on the face. Even I dance a bit with the Prime Minister.
Oh, is he a good dancer?
Yes, we talked that we shall do some classes.
Oh, I'm wondering which one of you needs the classes.
Oh, not me. I am a good dancer. When I meet my old classmates, the first thing they ask me, Rosemary, do you still dance? I still dance.
You keep dancing, Rosemary. We might talk to you again on the show sometime. It's been great to chat.
Thank you very much for even taking the word there. Let us continue making this country a greater country.
Thank you. Thanks, Rosemary.